Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a film that did way more than just scare people. It completely tore up the horror genre playbook and wrote its own rules. This is the story of how Scream was made.
You know, our story doesn't start on some Hollywood backlot. It starts with a real, genuine moment of fear. And that quote, that's not from the movie. That's screenwriter Kevin Williamson. And that one creepy, open window is what kicked off a whole pop culture phenomenon.
So how in the world does a struggling writer, totally broke, turn one scary night into one of the most famous screenplays ever? Let's get into it.
Okay, to really get this, you have to understand the kind of pressure Williamson was under. I mean, even after selling a script before this, he was still $100,000 in debt. He was just trying to scrape together $650 for rent, so this wasn't just some fun side project. This was basically a do-or-die moment for his career.
So running on pure adrenaline from that open window scare, Williamson gets on the phone with a friend. And they start doing what we all do, quizzing each other on scary movie trivia. And right then, in that conversation, the light bulb went off. And you're not going to believe this, just 3 days later, he had the entire foundation of Scream written down. 3 days!
Now this is the really important part. Williamson wasn't trying to write just another slasher flick. No, his idea was so much bigger. He wanted to, take the whole genre apart, look at all the pieces, all the cliches, all the rules, and then put it all back together into something totally new and way smarter.
And right away, the script just split people down the middle. You had some, like a young Eli Roth, who read it and were like, yes, this is it, this is brilliant. But then you had these old-school Hollywood types who were just completely confused. They were like, wait, is this a comedy? Is it scary? We don't get it. It was so new that a lot of people just couldn't wrap their heads around it.
So, you've got this game-changing script. Now what? You gotta find the right people to bring it to life. But as you're about to see, the perfect cast and crew that we know and love almost never happened.
Get this, the master of horror himself, Wes Craven, was actually bored with horror movies. Yeah, he felt like the whole genre had gotten stale, and he turned down the chance to direct Scream not once, but multiple times. It was only because the script was so smart, and because it made fun of all the exact things he was tired of, that he finally said yes.
And then came a twist nobody saw coming. Drew Barrymore, who was by far the biggest star they had, was supposed to play the main character, Sydney. But she comes in with this wild idea. What if you kill my character in the first 10 minutes? She knew, instinctively, that if you kill off the biggest name in the movie right away, it sends a message to the audience. Absolutely no one is safe. Brilliant.
Meanwhile, you've got Courtney Cox, who everybody loved as Monica on Friends, and she was dying to play the sharp-tongued reporter Gale Weathers. To prove she could do it, she actually wrote Wes Craven a letter basically saying, hey, don't worry, playing a bitch won't be a problem for me. And you know what? It worked.
And the rest of the cast just clicked into place. The casting director said that when Matthew Lillard and Jamie Kennedy auditioned, they were just on another level. And David Arquette, he took this character Dewey, who was written as kind of a simple, dopey guy, and gave him all this depth and heart. It was just lightning in a bottle.
Okay, but what about that voice, that terrifying, iconic voice on the phone? Well, you're not going to believe this, but the actor, Roger L. Jackson, was only hired to do temporary voice work on set for the actors to react to. But his performance was so genuinely creepy and unsettling that they knew they'd found their Ghostface. He was irreplaceable.
All right, the team is in place, time to start filming. And what happened on that set was this incredible mix of a fun summer camp vibe, total studio panic, and some amazing happy accidents that all came together to create magic. So 1 week into filming, the whole movie almost got shut down. The head of the studio, Bob Weinstein, saw the raw footage of that opening scene, the one with Drew Barrymore, and he absolutely hated it. He thought it looked boring, just a girl running around with a phone. He was so mad he was actually thinking about firing Wes Craven. But Wes's editor, he scrambled, quickly cut the scene together properly, and showed it to Weinstein. And when he saw it, with all the tension, the music, the terror, he was completely blown away. He went right up to Wes Craven and basically said, "My bad, what do I know about dailies?" And The Mask, the literal face of modern horror, was a total accident. Seriously, it wasn't some custom-made design. A producer just happened to find it hanging in a house they were looking at as a possible film location. It was just a cheap, mass-produced Halloween mask they found by chance. Unbelievable.
And this just tells you everything you need to know about Wes Craven's sense of humor.
So the local school board gave them permission to film at the high school, but then, at the last minute, they got nervous and pulled their permission. So Wes got the last laugh by sticking this perfectly sarcastic thank you note deep in the end credits.
So, after all that chaos and creativity, how has this movie stayed so relevant for decades? Let's talk about the incredible legacy it left behind.
See, for Wes Craven, the secret sauce was making sure every single death felt real. He wanted them to be emotional, to actually mean something. And the new filmmakers, the team called Radio Silence, they really understood that. They not only carried on that principle, but they also worked hard to create that same family feeling on set that Wes was so famous for.
One of the new cast members, Mason Gooding, just nails why this franchise is so scary. It's not about ghosts or monsters. The real horror of Scream is this terrifying, creeping thought that the person trying to kill you could be your best friend, your boyfriend, someone you see every single day and trust completely.
Which really brings us to the big question, right? Ghostface isn't one person. It's a mask. It could be anyone under there. So what is it about that simple, terrifying idea that makes this killer feel so timeless?
Well, maybe the answer comes from the guy who started it all. According to his wife, Wes Craven believed that we need horror movies. He thought they were like a release valve, a way for us to face all the scary, dark things in the world and in ourselves, but from the safety of a movie theater. And by giving us that experience, he created something that will have us all screaming for a long, long time to come.